மீடியா உங்கள் கனவா? படிக்கும் அனைவருக்கும் இன்டர்ன்ஷிப், பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் அசிஸ்டன்ஸ். பாண்டே ஸ்கூல் ஆஃப் ஜர்னலிசம் ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் கோர்ஸில் உடனே சேர 7338824242.
தினம்தோறும் விளக்கேற்ற நல்ல எண்ணெய் இதயம் நல்லெண்ணெய்.
Glad to come back here. I joined ICF back as General Manager in January 2024. Before that, I was Additional General Manager and looking after General Manager Southern Railway. Prior to that, I worked as Principal Chief Electrical Engineer of Southwestern Railway based in Hubli. And before that, I was Chief Electrical Locomotive Engineer on South Central Railway, headquartered at Secunderabad. And I have been Divisional Railway Manager in 2 divisions, Guntakal and Bilaspur. And I have had a 4-year deputation with the Bangalore Metro Rail Corporation. Deputation because the metros in the project phase, they need help from people who have worked in railway systems, so they borrow officers from Indian Railways. So I was there for 4 years as Chief Electrical Engineer Traction, and when I was there, 27 kilometers of the elevated section of the Bangalore Metro was commissioned and given for service. So that is a brief on my CV. We can go ahead. We are very proud to be part of ICF, where Vande Bharat is getting manufactured. I would like to thank all employees of ICF for giving their best for this project, which has literally put India on the world map, because earlier we used to see fancy looking trains only in Europe. Now we have a product which is being envied by the outside world. Vande Bharat today, in fact, the 21st train is going to leave ICF today. Time of introduction of Vande Bharat services in 2019. And the features and all, I think as and when you ask questions, we'll be telling you about the features of the Vande Bharat. The most important thing is it is basically a train set. Train set means it's a concept called distributed power rolling stock. So in a 16-car train, we have 4 units. So each unit is capable of independent movement. So we couple 4 units together and get a train. So the advantage of this concept is, first of all, the reliability is very high. When you have a train which is hauled by a locomotive, if the locomotive fails, the train gets stranded in the section. In the case of the Vande Bharat, out of the 4 units, even if 1 unit doesn't work, the train continues with the same level of performance. So there is a good deal of redundancy built in. And the power on the Vande Bharat is very high. We have, in each of these units, we have 2 motored coaches. So out of every 2 coaches, 1 coach is a motored coach. So in a 16-car consist, we have 8 coaches with traction motors. As a result of which, the power available on the train is almost 7,000 kilowatts. 7,000 kilowatts of power is a lot of power. It is equal to almost 2 locomotives. So because of this, the acceleration of the train is very high. The acceleration is at a level of 0.72 meters per second, which is comparable to the metros. And likewise, the deceleration rate is more than 1 meter per second. What happens is, with these 2 parameters being so high, when you have to brake and accelerate again, like when you are observing a speed restriction, the time lost is minimal. You can brake late and get back to your normal speed at the earliest. So that is one distinguishing feature of the Vande Bharat, unlike loco haul trains, where the acceleration would be only about 40% of what is there on the Vande Bharat. The maximum speed of the Vande Bharat is 160. It has been tested for a speed of 180 and offered for service at a speed of 160. And other features, I think If I say everything right now, perhaps you won't have any questions to ask. So we'll get along with the interview.
Any increase in speed is 180 is other countries speed is high.
Yeah.
There is 160, 180. Any increase speed?
Yes. So I'll just answer that question in detail. There is a tender on hand with the Ministry of Railways where we are going in for 200 kmph trains. 200 kilometers per hour trains would be perhaps available within 3 years from today. And see, one thing is the speed of the train is not exclusively depending on the train itself. You need a special type of track for that. You need a signaling system. So when we say trains abroad are running at 350 and 200 and all that, it is because all these areas which need to be upgraded to enable this type of speed, they are in place. So signaling system has to be upgraded. Then the tracks have to be upgraded. So in India today it is 160. So when we reach 200, I am sure even the track related works would have been done. Like thanks to the Vande Bharat now, on all areas, particularly where the passenger traffic density is high and tracks which are connecting metropolitan cities, works are on for upgrading the speeds to 160. Today the train runs at 160 between Agra and Delhi.
What are the infrastructure required to run Vande Bharat at the full speed attained? Because of now Tamil Nadu region 120, 110 maximum speed.
Now you'll be happy to know that in Tamil Nadu, on the Renigunta track, we can run at 130. The Vande Bharat, which runs between Chennai and Bangalore and Chennai and Coimbatore, runs at 130 between Chennai and Jalarpet.
When will reach 160?
160 will take time. So I don't work for Southern Railway, so I'll not give you the timelines, but works are going on. So 160 would be done. There are some special measures to be taken for 160. It requires a major change in the power supply system, and we need barricading of the tracks. Sleeper coaches, there is an order placed by the Ministry of Railways for 200 sleeper trains. So that would materialize 24 to 30 months from today. Why I'm saying 24 to 30 is, we've given them the option. If they use our basic design of the chair car, then the prototype rake is supposed to come out within 24 months. Otherwise, if they start with a basic design from their side, they'll be allowed 30 months. Parallelly, ICF is also working on a speedy turnout of the sleeper version of the Vande Bharat. We are hoping that we'll be able to complete it in this financial year. That is the target.
Executive coach.
Pardon?
Executive coach is only one coach.
Executive, in the chair car version, the executive coach is 1 out of 8. So when it is a 16-car train, there are 2 executive chair cars. In an 8-car train, we have 1. And I'll just tell you about the sleeper. In the sleeper, the formation is we have 1 first class air conditioned. That is the highest class of travel, first AC. And we'll have 4 second ACs and 11 3-tier ACs. That would be the formation of the 16-car train. Dedicated track we are not foreseeing today. It will be the same track. But as I told you, we need to do works on the track, signaling system and the power supply system. We are trying our best, madam. I don't want to any further. I don't want to comment on that further. We are doing our best. We have done 21. We'll be making all our efforts to turn out 75. Maybe not in August. 15th August was said, I think 15th August. We are making efforts. On the Vande Bharat, the indigenous content is between 85 to 90%. The imported things, I'll tell you, some of them are wheels and axles. So wheels and axles are imported.
Sir, how much train order received ICF?
Regarding? Yeah. So, madam, that answers part of your question. There was a slowdown in production because our forged wheel supplier and axle supplier, one of them was based in Ukraine. Then there was another slowdown. I'll just complete the answer to that question. I'll come back to you. Even integrated chips, which ICF of course doesn't directly procure, all these trains have a lot of electronics and power electronics. So the electronics which goes into the train, after COVID, there was short supply of these chips, and people tried to take advantage of the situation. They jacked up the prices. So the people who supply the power electronic devices to us, their productions were held up because of short supply of integrated chips. So these are the factors which have hit the production. Yeah.
So, sir, wanted to complete. You were supposed to import from Ukraine, but it did not happen. So, what is the status of these four wheels?
Ah.
Are you sourcing it domestically?
Yeah.
What is the status of
Yeah. I'll just give you a very specific answer for that. Railway Board have awarded a contract for 16 lakh 16 lakh forged wheels on an indigenous source. It is a company called Ramakrishna Forgings in partnership with Titagarh. So over a period of 20 years, they are supposed to supply these 16 lakh wheel sets. I think that answers your question.
Sir, how much Vande Bharat train order will receive the ICF?
The ICF today what we have on hand is 115 trains. 58 ICF has ordered and 57 were ordered by the Ministry of Railways. So both put together 115 trains materials have been ordered, and as I said 21 trains have gone out so far. I'll just complete it. As far as the Ministry of Railways are concerned, they have placed an order for 200 sets. I think I mentioned that a short while back. 200 sleeper train sets, out of which 80 will be manufactured in ICF. 80 trains would be manufactured in ICF. The contract has been given to a public sector called BHEL in partnership with a company called Titagarh. So those 80 trains will get manufactured here. 120 trains would be manufactured in Indian Railways factory in a place called Latur, Maharashtra. So that is the plan. In addition to that, ICF is processing for procurement of another 200 sleeper trains. And as I mentioned a short while back, the Railway Board is going to shortly finalize an order for 100 sleeper trains fit for 200 kmph, where another additional feature will be it will have aluminium car bodies. It will be an aluminium bodied train because aluminium is a lighter material. So at higher speeds, going in for aluminium makes sense. It leads to lesser energy consumption. Yeah, Vande Metro is another project which we have been asked to fast track. Vande Metro is basically a replacement for the mainline EMU coaches. Mainline EMU coach, you must have seen it runs maybe Arkonam to Jalarpet. So these are 8 coach trains where there are 2 powered coaches, 6 are normal trailer coaches. So the Vande Metro will be a air-conditioned version of the mainline EMU. It will have all the Vande features except for the pantry, because in a short distance train you don't need a pantry. This will typically have a lead of 150 kilometers and it will have a maximum speed of 130 kilometers per hour. And like the Vande Bharat, every second coach will be a motor coach. So you'll have the same high rate of acceleration, high rate of deceleration. So the transit time would be less. The prototype is expected to be launched in this calendar year by ICF. Bombay Suburban, there is a tender being floated by Mumbai Rail Vikas Corporation. So that tender will be out within a month. So that is with again all the Vande features. It will be an air-conditioned train. Every second coach will be powered. The maximum speed will again be 130 kilometers per hour. ICF, that is I think yet to be finalized. So we'll be happy to get involved because MRVC, the non-AC coaches we had supplied in the past. We had supplied about 160 trains fitted with propulsion from Siemens. and another 82 trains with propulsion from a company called Bombardier. Okay, I think Mr. Babu has asked me to clarify. Vande Metro is a replacement for the mainline EMU. Mainline EMU is basically a intercity service, like I mentioned, from Arkonam to Jalarpet. The Vande Suburban would be in the suburban areas of the metropolitan cities, including Hyderabad. And the Vande Suburban, the speciality is the coaches are wider. They are 12 feet wide coaches. And the Vande Suburban can carry about 6,000 people in a 15-coach train. In a Vande Metro, the carrying capacity, because the coach width is also less, it is restricted to about 300 coaches, 300 passengers per coach. Yes. One is the width. He would not have called it Vande Suburban, but there is a suburban version using all the features of the Vande, which means air conditioning, passenger information system, a higher rate of acceleration and deceleration compared to what we have today. Like in Bombay, the trains today what we run, they have typically an acceleration of about slightly less than 0.6 meters per second per second. This would have 0.72.
What will the next generation of Vande Bharat train look like? What is the features of the train?
The sleeper version you are asking? See, all these features will be there. The additional features will be, see, the sleeper version we are hoping will be much better in terms of the travel experience compared to the sleeper trains we have today. The interior furnishings, the lighting, everything would be of a superior standard. The PAPIS would be there, which would be distinctly an improvement over what we have today in each compartment. The rest of the Vande features will be there. See, the Vande chair car is suitable only for journeys of say about 500 to 700 kilometers. The sleeper trains would have a bigger reach, longer reach. So intercity travel between metropolitan cities. In India, where distances are large. So Chennai to Delhi is about 2,200 kilometers. So the Vande sleeper would be perhaps a very passenger-friendly option for travel on that sector. It will be an upgraded version of the Rajdhani. All the Rajdhani features will be there, plus this higher rate of acceleration and this provision of pantry in each coach and PAPIS. And we have Kavach. That is one thing I think I did not mention. As far as the safety of the train is concerned, on the Vande trains, we have Kavach, which is basically a train collision avoidance system. So when you have Kavach fitted on two trains which are running on the same track, even if they are running towards each other, an accident can never happen because the Kavach takes care. It doesn't allow the trains to collide. The trains will come to a stop when they are approaching each other. And other safety features on the Vande coaches, we have a fire detection and mitigation system. The fire detection system is there in the passenger area. In areas where normally we don't get a chance to look inside, like electrical cabinets or toilets, we have a fire detection system as well as a fire mitigation system. There is an aerosol-based fire mitigation system. So it gets activated whenever there is a fire and the fire gets extinguished. In addition to that, as far as the safety features are concerned, we have got a disaster management light. So even if the train meets with an accident, some basic lighting will still be on inside the train. Then we have the gangways between two coaches. You would have seen in the Vande Bharat, when you move from one coach to the other, it's a very smooth and it's not a scary experience. In the good old days, when you move from one coach to the other, you find that the thing is open to the sky and it keeps shaking. And especially children, we are very scared to send them to the next coach. In the Vande, we have gangways which are wide, 1.5 meters wide, and they are absolutely airtight and watertight. So you are able to move from one coach to the other. These are some of the safety features. And of course, the riding on the Vande is excellent. Even if the train is running at 160, somebody has to tell you it is running at 160. Otherwise, you get a feeling it is running at a very low speed. The sound levels are low, it doesn't shake much. I don't know how many of you have had a chance to travel on the Vande. Please do it, you will enjoy the experience. No, you will need a separate type of stock for that. Not right now, but we have been asked to make a train which will be fit for a speed of 245 kilometers per hour, so that it can be run at 220. ICF is involved in that project. Not immediately, we are making a specification for that. Bullet train, of course, is much higher. Bullet trains will run at 320. No. Bullet train, see, another thing I would like to clarify is in India we have this system of running freight trains and passenger carrying trains on the same track. Whenever we have a high speed system, it has to be an exclusive track. It has to be a track on which there are no level crossings. So it is mostly elevated, or it runs underground when it is running across cities. In India, we've got a corporation called National High Speed Rail Corporation Limited. That is the public sector which is working on this track between Bombay and Ahmedabad. That's a high speed track. And I think some 8 more routes have been identified, including one from Chennai to Mysore via Bangalore. So they'll be passing through the metropolitan city crossings through a underground passage. Okay, madam, here I'll request help from all of you. See, this is a social problem which is very specific to India. Why should a buffalo come onto the track? And these are not wild buffaloes. They are domesticated buffaloes owned by somebody. So these owners should be questioned. It is not as if the Vande Bharat goes into the fields looking for a buffalo to run it over. The buffalo comes to the track out of its own. This barricading, what I was mentioning, madam, barricading will help. Madam, one thing is in the next design, there is something called a cattle catcher. The cattle catcher has been moved forward so that the buffalo gets thrown off. And in the existing design, we are changing the design of the nose so that the part to be replaced, that is small and it can be done fast, if that is what you are asking. So one is where I seek help from you is, number one is cattle coming onto the track, second is stone pelting. So please help us solve these two problems. These two problems are really hitting the Vande Bharat badly. These are trains all of us should be proud of. I don't understand why anybody would like to pelt stones on that. Likewise, all domesticated cattle should not be allowed to come onto the track.
How about it travel to the wild line, sir?
Mr. Babu has just pointed out, we have cameras, 2 on either side on each coach, which are looking outwards. So we can identify the stone pelters. Just a deterrent. We have been able to catch the stone pelters in a couple of cases using that camera. So this needs to be, I think, publicized, that when you are pelting, you think twice before you pelt stones, because railways will be able to catch you using this camera. This year we are going to do 63 plus 14, 77 trains. Yeah, I told you because of some problems there was a slowdown. But this year I have told you, madam, by the end of the year we would have done 77 trains. In this year alone. In the production year 2023-24, we will manufacture 77 trains. Yeah, we can, pardon?
ஹெரிட்டேஜ் சிட்டிஸ் ஹெரிட்டேஜ் இப்போ உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு முக்கியமான இந்த திருத்தலங்களுக்கெல்லாம் போகிற மாதிரி இப்போ ஒவ்வொரு கோயில்களுக்கு முக்கிய கோயில்களுக்கு போகிற மாதிரியான
I think we'll get into this once we are approached by the concerned either the IRCTC or the State Tourism Department. We can definitely make trains for heritage circuits. We have done beautiful trains for tourism development corporations of Karnataka, Maharashtra. Nadu also. We have run Bharat Gaurav trains in Tamil Nadu. So Bharat Gaurav trains were manufactured in ICF, some of them. Some, of course, the older trains were refurbished and converted into Bharat Gaurav. Maharaja Express is only one. Maharaja we have one, we have Palace on Wheels, we have Golden Chariot, we have Deccan Odyssey.
Sir, how much berth?
Pardon? Shatabdi is there, still there.
நியூ ட்ரெயின்
No, this finally the Vande Bharat and Shatabdi are similar breed of trains. Cost wise, see, the Vande and Shatabdi you cannot directly compare. It is like comparing something you have in a 5-star hotel with something you have in a 3-star hotel. So you can't make a direct comparison. You get your money's worth when you travel by either type of train. So that is all I would like to say as a railway man. When you travel on Vande, there are certain features which are exclusive to the Vande, not there in the Shatabdi. And on the Shatabdi, there are some features which you don't have in the normal trains. So it's a value for money type of travel. So that is all I would like to say.
Sir, how much railway berth is available for the sleeper coach, Vande sleeper coach?
Pardon?
How many berth inside the sleeper coach, Vande Bharat sleeper coach?
வந்தே ஸ்லீப்பரில் எவ்வளோ பர்த் போட போகிறீங்க?
In a train, 16-car train, we have about 830, Babu? 830 people can travel in a sleeper car train.
எப்போ எதிர்பார்க்கலாம்?
One train will come in this financial year, which ICF is doing independently.
Sir, if any plan for the southern districts for Vande train?
For this question, I don't want to answer because what we produce, where it will run, that decision is not mine.
No, the track is working for you.
So we just produce the trains. It is for the ministry to decide. We are manufacturers. So where the train,
Sir, southern.
Yara?
Chennai to Kanyakumari, a lot of other trains there. No, Vande Bharat.
where?
Chennai to Kanyakumari. Okay, Chennai to Madurai. Actually, Chennai to Coimbatore Vande Bharat. Chennai to Madurai, no. Why?
Again, you are asking the wrong person. I cannot answer that.
There are two things in this. ICF is not.
இல்ல இல்ல நம்ம அந்த ட்ரெயின் தெரியும் நீங்க தயார் பண்ற ட்ரெயின் தான் உங்ககிட்ட கேட்கக்கூடாது சொல்றோம்.
And ideally, the distance over which a Vande travels is a max of 700 kilometers. If you keep it longer than that, it becomes difficult. No? You have to sit like this. So, sitting and traveling for anything more than 8 to 9 hours is a challenge.
Regarding safety, there seem lot of employees are not wearing safety helmets inside the ICF. Are there any action taken? Not all employees are wearing.
That again, I think collectively it is our duty as society to counsel people that the accidents don't forewarn you that they are going to happen. So it is just to wear helmets. Why don't road users wear helmets? I have seen so many people not wearing helmets. It is for responsible people like us to ingrain into their psyche that a helmet is in their own interest, isn't it? We are enforcing it. Every employee has been given with something called appropriate PPE for the type of work he does, personal protective equipment. So it has been ensured. Using, I think all of us as responsible people, we have to decide, yes, it is given to me for protecting my life. It is my responsibility to wear it. I don't need to be policed. Somebody should not tell me or fine me for not wearing. I think that collectively as a country we have to enforce that type of discipline. Don't you agree? Metro also I told you one train we are hoping to complete in the current financial year itself, in the current calendar year, faster. Yes. Manufacturing cost of the Vande Bharat is about 108 crores without the GST component.
How many of the workers are involved in Vande Bharat, sir? For a single train, how many manpower needed to build up train?
Vande Bharat is, it takes about 2 months to produce a Vande Bharat. If you ask for man hours and all that, I don't have the details now. The cycle time for the Vande Bharat is 2 months. From the day I start manufacturing a 16-car train, up to the date the train goes out, it is 2 months.
Thank you, friends. On behalf of PIB, I thank you all for making it a overwhelming success. Initially, when we were planning about this, we were expecting around 40. We ended up having double the response, and we are very happy about it. Actually, we were discussing about organizing such events a few months back in PIB, so that apart from our normal coverages, you get opportunity to interact with ICF. You can also report on the fantastic development efforts happening in this country. So this is one of the effort we started with ICF. ICF is good enough to provide all the facilities and give us support in organizing this. In the coming weeks and months, we would be organizing more visits to these type of facilities from Chennai, maybe like atomic power plant or like a metro tunnel, whatever other facilities are there in our vicinity, which we can make in a short notice. We will go and do the thing. And for doing the first effort, such effort, supporting the first effort, my heartfelt thanks to the GM and his team of officials here. And thank you for making it a success. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Babu.
I wish to thank sir and team PIB for making this possible. It was very nice interacting with you. Pardon? As far as I am concerned, you are welcome to come again. And
as CPR of ICF, apart from this Vande Bharat, உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் இன்னொரு சின்ன request. We have one of the best rail museum here. Before leaving, you can have a round of this, and also this theatre. Shortly, we are planning to give this theatre for rental purpose also. I request you all to promote this also. And have a look at the museum. This is one of the best museum we have here. And I thank all the media team as well as officials from PIB for organizing this. And as requested by some of you, in future we will try to plan a half a day trip like that. Thank you.